Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today in this sessions I am going to cover about entity mapping in Spring Boot applications. Have you ever struggled with mapping your Java object to a database? Do you want to master JPA and Hibernate to build scalable high performance applications? Here in these sessions I'm going to talk about how you are going to mapping your entity in Spring Boot. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced developer, this session will give you a clear, practical understanding of how to define entity relationship using JPA and Hibernate. So what basically you are going to learn today? So first of all, the fundamentals of JPA and Hibernate. Next, we will talk about different types of annotations which are going to used in while we are going to defining our entity, and we are going to mapping the relationship. How we are going to map one-to-one annotations, one-to-many, many-to-one, and many-to-many relationship. There are also certain advanced mapping technique like @embedded, enumerated, and lifecycle events. Okay, so here basically if we talked about that why this is important, so it's important because of if we want to efficient entity mapping is the foundations of scalable applications. With proper entity relationship you can ensure that data consistency, optimize queries, and improve the performance in your Spring Boot applications. Next, we will talk about the introductions of this JPA and entity mapping. If you ever wondered how these Java applications seamlessly interact with database, the secret lies in the JPA and entity mapping. In these sessions, we will explore how Java objects are mapped to relational database using JPA. JPA means it's a Java Persistence API, and Hibernate. It's actually making database interactions smooth and efficient. If we talked about that, what is JPA? JPA means basically, as I said, it's a Java Persistence API. Is a standard specifications that defines how Java applications should interact with database. It removes boilerplate SQL code and makes database operations declarative and efficient. However, JPA is just a specifications. To actually implement it, we need ORM frameworks like Hibernate. So if we talked about JPA, it's the rules and the guidelines, whereas Hibernate is the implementations of JPA. This is about the JPA and the Hibernate. Now we will talk about that what is entity mapping. Okay, so this entity mapping is the process of linking Java object means entities to database tables using annotations. Instead of writing complex SQL queries, we can use JPA annotations like entity, tables, @ID, columns, then one-to-many, many-to-one. These are for defining the relationship. This approach makes database management cleaner, easier, and more maintainable. If we talked about that why is entity mapping important, so it's actually important because its first point is actually reduces boilerplate code, means we don't need to write SQL for CRUD operations. It's ensure data integrity, means defines relationship directly in code. It's also optimize the performance because here we can use caching and the lazy loading. Work across database means JPA allows easy switching between database. Okay, so these are the things about the JPA hibernate and the entity mapping. Next we will defining like how we are going to use these different types of relationship annotations like one to one, one to many, many to one, and the many to many relationship. Okay, so now actually we will talk about, okay, before that, before going to the detail of it, as I said, what are the essentials JPA annotations? So if you see, like there are multiple annotations available in JPA. One of them are entity, table, ID, this is generated value, and the column. So the entity, if we want to mark a class as JPA entity, then @entity annotation is used. If we want to map entity to a table, then @table annotations is used. Within the table annotation, if you see here, like we are using the table name over here. Okay, so this is the table name actually. Okay, so under this table annotation we are using this one. @ID, it specifies the primary key because table actually having the primary key, so that actually we need to defining into our class. So using the @ID we can defining this primary key. This is generated values, means sometimes the auto means the primary key will be unique, so we can defining as a automatic generated keys, so that it will generate the unique numbers over there. And @column, if we define to the like custom properties name of this word, so using this @column we can defining that name. Okay, next we will talk about that one-to-one relationship. Okay, so one-to-one relationship means that one record in a table A is associated with exactly one record in table B. Let me repeat once. One record in table A is associated with exactly one record in table B. If we take one example, like a user has one profile, or a passport belongs to one person, or a car has one engine. That means they are having the one-to-one relationship. Now if we talked about that how we are going to implement one-to-one in a JPA, so obviously we can use @one-to-one, as you can see over here, like @one-to-one, this one annotations over here, right? So in this way basically we can used, and here this join column with that used to defining the foreign key of this profile table. Okay, so this is in this way basically we can use. So this one-to-one annotation defines a one-to-one relationship. This join column actually creates a foreign key in the user table, and we can use the generated values which will automatically generate the ID, right? Next we will talk about one to many and the many to one relationship. Okay, here basically if you think about that how you are going to map a parent-child relationship in a database. Imagine a company having multiple employees. How do you represent this in JPA? So here for that we need this kind of annotations. A one-to-many relationship means one record in table A is associated with multiple records in table B. If we take one example, that one company has many employees, or one author has many books, or one courses has many students. The vice versa, many to one relationship means it's a simply reverse of this one to many, means many employees belongs to one company, or many books are written by one author. Now how we are going to implement this one? If you see this one, like we need to use this one to many over here, and here many to one, and here you can defining the map by user, and here we can use the joined by column. So in this way basically we can use these things. Okay, so now why we are going to use this one to many or many to one relationship in a JPA or table? So it's a basically real world modeling, like represents natural relationship like companies and the employees. For data integrity, like ensures that referentials integrity using foreign keys, or it's efficient the querying, like easily fetch related entities. Okay, next. Okay, next actually that many to many relationship. Okay, now let's say one scenario that where multiple entities are related to multiple other entities. Think about students are enrolling in multiple courses, or actors start starring in multiple movies, right? So how do you implement this in JPA? A many-to-many relationship means that one record in table A is associated with multiple records in table B, or vice versa. Like many students enroll in many courses, many employees work on many projects, or many actors act in many movies. Since relational database don't support many-to-many directly, so we need to join a table to establish the relationship. So here how we are going to implement this. So if you see, we need to use at the rate many to many annotations over this particular column, and at the rate join table, here we need to defining that name over here. So this is the thing about this one. Okay, and why we use this many to many relationship? To represent complex relationship, like easily models real world many to many association. Its efficient querying, like reduces redundant data duplications. It's a flexible and scalable. Easily add more relationship over here, right? So this is actually all about this one. Uh, like what we have covered over here, like JPA and Hibernate simplify entity mapping with annotations like relationship annotations like one to one, many to one to many, many to many. Now I hope you get some idea that how you are going to use this kind of models in a real world applications like user profiles, companies employees, and student courses. Why this matters actually? Like for proper entity mapping, reduce the redundancy and improve the data integrity, right? Using JP annotations ensure clean and maintainable code. It's understanding the relationship, optimize performance for high traffic applications. So that's all actually about this one. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. Please press the bell icon for further notifications, and stay tuned for more deep dive tutorials on Spring Boot and other technologies. Until next time, happy coding. Thank you. Bye bye.